great attention getter.
All right,
Good
morning, everyone. I hope y'all are ready to get super dirty because I'm going to teach you how to make a thing. And then fire that thing. And then glaze that thing. And then you can give it to your vodka in because it's probably going to look like an ashtray. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let's see. One of the most popular processes of making ceramic wares is called throwing. So basically, Graham Flight, who's written several ceramic craft history books and an introduction guide, he says that the best way to describe it is throwing is the process of creating symmetrical objects on a wheel, like so. It requires a lot of restraint and control, and practice. Consistent practice. It took me about a month of doing it every single day to finally get to where I can throw a simple cup. So that's why you start off with a lot of ashtrays, because you'll get there and then it's okay. So the first step into making your thing, whatever it is, a vase, a cup, a tea set, is wedging. And Dan Rode, who's been teaching ceramics for 20 plus years, says that wedging is important because it makes sure that the clay is blended well and free of air bubbles, and that's important because if you've got an air bubble in your clay and it goes into a kiln, it will explode and kamikaze. And so the process of wedging is, I'm just going to do a quick demo, is you want to basically blend it. And I'm going to clean up this desk afterwards, so no one freak out. I'm running sponge for that. And so basically, you'll see this ram's head shape starting to form. That's how you know you're doing it right. And you just squeeze in and you push down and you just go with it, you know? And then, once you got your nice wedge piece of clay right here, you'll plop that sucker down onto the wheel head. Pretend this is your wheel head. I can't actually bring one in. Oh, that would have been cool, but. So then you make it sure it's nice and secure. And then we're on to the next part of sintering. Actually, no, adding water. Wow! Water is your best friend as a beginner because basically, you see my hands? Super sticky stuff, right? Water makes it sure so that it doesn't stick to your hands. So really great stuff. And then we get into sintering, which the first step is to make the tuna can. And the reason sintering is super important is because if your clay is not on the center of the wheel, you can't make a symmetrical shape. You'll be fighting the clay the entire time, and you'll wobble, and you're basically fucked if it's not centered. You will not make a thing. You will make this. So sintering is important. So basically you start out by, if you're right-handed, your right hand's going to be on the outside, and your left is going to push down, and you'll make this tuna can shape. And then after that, you go up and you make the cone. And I squeeze my clay like this, so sometimes it looks like a unicorn dick. It's really a but yeah, and so then you go up, and then you'll repeat this process. Tuna can, come. Tuna can, come. Tuna can, come. Until you get it in the center. And that could be 20 times, or it could be 2. Who knows? It's really hard to tell. So once you got your clay perfectly in the middle, you open the well, and basically that's the start of your vessel. And so once you have the beginning of your vessel, you're like, oh, cool. How much more can I ruin this? Because you finally got to the centering part. Well, let's see if I can ruin it again. And then next is pulling the walls up. So basically, Rhodes says that, he describes it really well. Pulling the wall is basically just lengthening the size of your vessel. So, which is cool. And then once you have your walls pulled, and so you can see the clay going up, which is really interesting. Once you like the way it looks, you'll cut it off the wheel, and then you start firing it. Firing kiln lasts about 12 hours, and it gets up to about 1800 degrees. And then it takes about 12 hours to cool down. And what it looks like, so here is something, we can pass that around if you'd like. That's something that's dry and ready to go in the kiln. These are items that are bisqued and they're much sturdier, and they're ready to absorb glazes.
This is cute.
Thanks! I did that series, just a series of little bears, not too long ago. So then, that brings us to glazing. So glazing is pretty much, according to John, wow, I'm way out of order now. Ooh, we're lost in the sauce here. I believe his name is John Britt. He says glazing is basically the process of mixing chemicals and water and dipping your piece in it, and then once you fire it, right here, it will turn into glass, which protects the form and makes it more durable and lasts forever, essentially. And I brought some pieces in that I make. So these are some of the stuff I make, and that's how you make a thing!